Oh, Long Johnson.
Everything looks good on my end. If it looks good on your end.
Don't believe his lies.
Just say it, Jose. Use it to test the waters. Go for it.
Ugh.
Red leather, yellow leather,
But really, what's bothersome
red
is like
leather,
he never
yellow leather.
remembers to do it on his own. Someone has to be like, "I wonder if we sound our," and then he just does.
I think he waits. He waits purposely for just the right moment to
Because I'm
strike.
always waiting for the ad to finish fucking loading.
We're good, boys.
Are we? All right. Well, look at that flawless entry. I guess. Welcome to the
Fringe.
the Dark Mushroom Media
Yeah,
Cast
Big
episode
palette.
34. Right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, got a bunch of interesting topics to discuss today. As always, we're going to start it off with some of the hardest hitting stories before jumping into our main topic. Tim, I'm going to hand it off to you as per usual. Take the reins, man.
I don't like how, per usual, I get the reins.
Oh,
Maybe someone else can take the reins, Palmer. Let's work our way back. As something cool happened the last time we casted, or the weekend last time we casted, which is I brought to attention, and that is the Dungeon of the Endless developers, or Endless Space, Endless Fantasy, the guys that do Endless games. They did a weekend event in all three games, where basically, if you either played the game or you did some small, easy to do task, you would get exclusive content only by playing it that weekend, which is kind of interesting because they've never done anything like this before. Their last game came out like a year ago, Dungeon of the Endless and Endless Fantasy, and Endless Space came out like 3 years ago, but they just randomly decided to do this in all their games, and I thought that was very cool. And it gave Jose a chance to test out Dungeon of the Endless, which I think he was quite smitten with.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that game was on my radar for a while,
I think you'd
um,
like it too, Palmer. Eventually, I'll try to get you hooked on that.
and that price point was just, it was at the right level for me to like just jump in at first. It's an amazing fucking game. It's like one of the hardest games I've ever played, which is awesome.
Saddening, kind of, really.
Like roguelike hard or like
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
It's like a roguelike tower defense, dungeon crawler, tactical squad management. It's
Tactical.
it's it's just it cherry picks from like half of PC gaming basically, but it does
Is
it
it
it does
like
it very well.
is it like pixels or
Yes, very
rendered?
very very pixel heavy,
Hmm.
but the art it's good pixel, not just trash pixel.
Hmm.
It's
Like
So
got
is it
that
like a
going.
nostalgic in a sense.
is it a side scroller or is it like overhead? What?
Over like a
Uh,
top down overhead.
yeah.
It's kind of I don't know what you would
I've
really compare it to.
I think I've seen ads for it on Steam.
But
For
yeah,
sure.
in the instance of that game, there was a character available. And the way it works, you unlock characters in that game is you complete 3 floors with them, and all you have to do is the normal way of unlocking characters with him, and you have the character in game. I just thought it was kind of cool that a developer randomly decided to do that. So I wanted to point that out because I have the power, Palmer, with this podcast to do that.
Yeah, I guess so.
And Dungeon of the Endless is awesome. So yeah,
Awesome,
just
awesome.
a cool little weekend event thing.
Did it just come out or?
No, like I said, Dungeon of the Endless. I think it actually came out in like November
Oh,
2014.
okay.
So
Okay. So,
it's been around for a minute.
right. Fair enough.
But while we're on such subjects, I want to touch on Dirty Bomb real quick, something we talk about from time to time. They did a
Bimmy, bimmy.
kind of beta test event the last weekend, where basically they're like, "Here's our new map," in a very early stage. Test it out. Let us know what you think.
Beta
How can...
testing a beta
Right, they're beta testing a beta of a map in the beta.
in the beta.
Correct.
Okay.
That is the sequence of events that have unfolded.
Okay.
I was a day late to that, unfortunately, because it was just the weekend. Actually, it went on to Tuesday, but again, just Dirty Bomb developers doing Dirty Bomb stuff. I was really hoping to test out the map because I knew about
Did
this
you
ahead
not
of
even
time.
get to try the map that
I
you're
did no,
that
I
you're
just completely
discussing right
forgot
now?
about it. I got lost in the sea of rage of Hearthstone yesterday, which took up all my day. So
Okay.
we'll talk about that later.
All right.
But yeah, on the tides of all the hate, Palmer, I just forgot to play Dirty Bomb. Regret nothing though. Best day ever.
All right.
What else we got? Well, I guess we're talking about game updates. We can talk about Vermintide, which you recently have fucking
Oh
fallen
God, I'm all in.
head into. Understandable.
Hey, it's Jose had played that, and I have played that game like pretty much every night since I bought it.
I
Pretty
mean,
sure. I think there was like maybe a night or two that we might have missed out on, but a good like 80% of the nights have been spent playing Vermintide, at least in some capacity, for more than an hour every night.
yeah, that's one of those games
Good
that's really
man.
good for that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I picked a good time to jump in because the whole double XP thing. So I got a lot of loot really quickly. I got a lot of experience really quickly. I'm already level 30.
Jesus, really?
Yeah.
Fucking Call of Duty weekend, boys.
But no, it was great because they lowered that price point down to that 20%. Not I just bit. I bit because the moment was
Begrudgingly, I
right.
should add.
I bit because the moment was right. I should have
Got a message.
honestly.
God damn it! What? I bought fucking Vermintide. Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot more in depth than something like Left 4 Dead, which I don't know that we really communicated in the other times that we've talked about it, because like it caught me off guard a little bit, like in terms of like the combat system and stuff. Especially like the character that I'm playing like relies more on like dodging and using like agility and speed to avoid attacks rather than just try to block things and go like ham man mode.
Yeah, it's not. You play the elf, right?
Yeah, the Wayfarer.
Yeah. No, we've talked about stuff like that. Yeah, the elf's not a class you just run in and go ham with. I mean, you can. It's like you can like pop in and out of combat and kind
Right.
of live that way. But it's it's hard to dance around all that shit.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like Diablo-esque elements about it that have really pulled me in. The whole like loot grind thing, I'm just 100% about that. If we don't successfully finish a mission, I get pissed.
Not as pissed as Jose.
Not quite there. I'm getting there though. Me and Jose decided to kick somebody.
Yeah,
a couple times.
once you just understand the game,
Yeah.
and you see someone who should by now, by that level, understand how the game works and how enemy behaves, and it just there's something wrong, and it just triggers me.
Yeah,
I get triggered. The game triggers.
It is infuriating. It's
true.
absolutely infuriating. I'm not gonna lie about that. Just
And
'cause-
to be honest, like a lot of that anger, a lot of that is directed at me. You know, why am I so invested in this game?
hey, at least he's honest, right?
We should point out that they did add the thing where if you get far enough in a mission, they give you something. They give you like dust.
Yeah,
crap.
but it's like
At
shitty,
launch, that
useless-
was not a thing. You got
It's
nothing.
not- it's
At
still
least
not
that
worth
little
it.
bit helped.
It's still not worth it, dude. You only get one fucking item if you win. Like, at least fucking give me that, dude. Give me a goddamn common item at least. You know, if we make it more than 3/4 of the way, huh? Yeah,
This
I
is
really
Diablo.
want this to be more Diablo than it already is. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. I really have only played the Wayfarer class and nothing else. Literally nothing else yet. In the
A lot of people do that. They just pick one character, and I'm like, there's like 4 other characters, and they're no, fuck you, this guy.
Just
Yeah.
about, if I get like a chatty team, just about everyone says that they only play one character, and it's usually the character that they played their first game. Is what
Yeah.
I've noticed.
Well, for me, it's like I kind of anticipated what Wayfarer was going to be. It sounded like it was going to be the class that I really wanted to play anyways, because it caters to my playstyle. But then the thing that's going to pull me into like another character is when I get like some fucking epic loot drop for another character. As soon as
Right.
that happens, yes, I will jump on another character and start really playing it. But until that point, you know, I'm all about just continuing to try to equip the Wayfarer because I have so much fun with her. But yeah, like there's a lot more to it. Like the whole like grimoires, like making you lose experience or not experience, health, and like tomes taking up potion slots and all these other things. There's like these things that make it unnecessarily difficult, and I love it. It just like it really emphasizes the team aspect, especially on higher difficulties. Like it is absolutely essential to have a team that works together on higher difficulties.
Yeah, you pretty much just die otherwise.
Yeah, and just playing it on hard, I've already kind of learned that very very fucking quickly. I think there was only like 2 times that I've tried to play this game without at least Jose in my party, and both times ended in a lot of grief, and me vowing never to do that again. But yeah, we managed to pull in Sam and a couple other people. Chris, I think, picked it up too. So I mean, it'll get to the point where even if Tim doesn't want to play with us, we should always be rolling as 4 with somebody.
Or Tim doesn't want to play a Warhammer game. What happened to the world?
I know, Jesus.
Saddening.
But yeah, I'm enjoying that. I don't know. As far as like the whole DLC and stuff goes, I'm interested in there being another map finally.
Yeah, there's a well, they added an update which came with the sale, which improved on the crafting system a little bit, which I was very happy with. Jose, I assume you were as well.
Absolutely. That's something that they've been talking since, I guess, the first live stream. I don't know if I've heard anything before that.
Yeah, it was around the first or the announcement of the first update before this one, where they improved the crafting. But this one improved the crafting even further, allowing you to switch out specific specialties and weapons, which is very, very handy. But yeah, they also did with this update. They pretty much right after it, they announced their first DLC, which is going to be a new mode called Last Stand and a new map. The new map is actually DLC, which is kind of saddening.
handy.
But yeah, they also did with this
like
update Payday-esque right before Payday went to shit, which is that if one person owns it, anyone else in the party can play it. And I don't know how it works for matchmaking, though. I don't know if you'll be able to play this without actually owning the DLC, like searching for it.
I think the way they described it is as long as someone in your party owns it, you could that person can host it and you can play. I don't think you can jump into a game like if you hit the L button looking for that map. I don't think you can play it, but as long as someone in your party has it, everyone in that party can join.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's a pretty fair compromise.
Yeah, it's pretty much the old Payday system before.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
We really got to find a new name for that. But
We
yeah,
don't we don't talk.
Is that how Halo
we don't mention
works?
Payday unless we're making fun of Corbin, huh?
Is that how Halo works? I don't think I owned any of that DLC, but I still could play with you guys back in the day.
I don't think that's how it worked on 3. I don't remember it working that way on 3.
You might be thinking. You might be confusing
Maybe on like
ODST.
Halo 4.
No, not on Halo
No.
4. No, you might be confusing ODST because it came with the multiplayer disc that had all of the Halo content. Maybe that's
Is that right?
yeah.
Mayhaps.
That's absolutely what the case is. I know what's happening here. I know all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Take
But
back my state.
the screenshots they've shown of the map, it actually looks really fucking cool. Like it's a big castle and like a coast and shit. It just very much looking forward to that. And the idea of a last stand mode is kind of hilarious. From what they've described so far, it's basically the longer you last, the better loot you get.
Mhm.
And just we've all played Vermintide. We all know how fucking hectic it can get very fucking quickly. So
Yeah.
Especially after
interesting.
this last update. Holy shit, those gablobbers. Never really
Yeah.
considered them a threat. Now
Now
they're the first thing I
they are
heard.
the worst thing ever.
They can like single-handedly destroy an entire team on the
An
hard
entire
difficulties.
team
Yeah.
in seconds.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Fantastic. But yeah, I'm picturing like getting far into Last Stand being just fucking hellacious in the best kind of way. So that'll be cool to check out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for the new mode. It should be a lot of fun.
Why don't you knock out some of your things, Palmer?
Okay, let's see what I got on my list. We're
Yeah,
gonna start with you know what? Let's talk about Pain, the new game from Brotherhood Games, who developed Stasis. They announced that they're working on a new project and that they're now a complete game development studio. So they're all running full time. They hired more staff. It's awesome. Good for them. They definitely deserve it after Stasis. But in case I didn't ride Stasis's dick hard enough,
But you rode
decided-
pretty hard, I can attest.
I've decided that I'm going to pimp the developer, and their new announcement with just this little tidbit. I mean, literally all they announced was the name of the game, and that it's going to be completely different than the Stasis game, like
Motion?
in terms of like gameplay and stuff. Yes, yeah, it's
See
not
what they
going to be
did there?
static animations and stuff. Everything's going to be normal mapped, but they said that it's going to be set in the same universe, which is pretty cool, I think, because I think they've got the foundation. Stasis laid a foundation for something really awesome there. So if they continue in that direction and kind of exploring that universe, I'm really excited as a fan of Stasis. and just kind of seeing what they're capable of doing next. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I'm sure we're going to talk about that more in the future.
I like when developers do that. They kind of take an idea and then just do a completely different thing with the idea. The endless developers, the stuff we talked about just earlier, they did that. Like they had one of the games is a 4X space game, one of the games is a dungeon crawler, one of the game. It's cool when developers do shit like that because it all takes place in the same universe.
Yeah, absolutely. So the other thing, we don't talk about a lot of hardware stuff on this cast. We try to focus more on video games and stuff. But this is a pretty important piece of news.
I think for PC gamers, it's very important.
Yeah, definitely. So Microsoft has said that next-gen CPUs will not be supported on Windows 7, and that like Windows 8 is going to get phased out too, slowly but surely. But like you're going to have at least Windows 10 for the next generation of CPUs. There's the language in that is a little rough. There are some people arguing that it doesn't necessarily mean that like this immediately next generation of CPUs is not going to work, but like the one after that, pretty much. So it'll take a couple more years, and I think that people won't have too much of a problem with it for a little while. But at some point, everybody's going to have to adopt the Windows 10 model. Nobody's going to be able to stick with Windows 7. And I think that's going to phase it out a lot more quickly than Windows XP, because that wasn't an issue between the Windows XP and Vista transition.
Yeah. Like you said, this is something that's going to take not even just for them to come out, but even people like upgrading stuff, not right away to necessarily go to the top tier stuff. So it's going to be a slow crawl. Like
especially the day they gave about stopping support for Windows 7, which is like 2020.
Mm-hmm.
They've got that time frame, if that means anything. That's like 6-7 more years.
Yeah, but it's all still for the previous generation. So they're still just by like stating that basically they said they're going to continue to support it through 2020 with previous generation CPUs. But then after that point, it's obviously going to be fuck you, upgrade to the next one. Pretty much, probably.
Yeah, but one thing that did kind of stick out is they mentioned that the free upgrade to Windows 10 if you have Windows 7 or 8, and they said to do it sooner rather than later. Especially now, so I'm guessing they're going to start announcing that they're going to end that free upgrade sometime soon.
Yeah, they said they can't remember. They did say that the free upgrade time period was not going to be for very long. Like it wasn't going to be like a permanent thing. Obviously, they want to start selling copies of this eventually, but yeah, I'd imagine it would probably come to wraps in another year or so. I know there's still quite a few people like waiting to upgrade at least a little bit longer, and honestly, it's a good idea. But yeah, I don't think it'll be much more than maybe a year. They haven't already announced a date.
Right. Yeah, the one thing that's going to make me absolutely upgrade to 10, especially the fear of it not being free anymore, like sometime soon, is the whole HoloLens, the stuff that they're going to integrate into Windows 10. Because I don't really know much about like these industry events, but everyone that's written about using or experiencing it say it's something that will definitely like change the paradigm and productivity in like user interfaces and gaming and all sorts of things. So
I think just from like what I've seen of it and the videos that I've seen for it, I feel like it will to an extent. I feel like the reason that HoloLens is like so successful right now is because of what they're demonstrating it with, and they're doing it with Minecraft, and it makes a lot of sense for a game like Minecraft to be played that way. Other games, if you really think about the logistics behind it, I don't know how like well utilized that can actually be, unless it's like tactical or like over the head or like isometric camera perspectives. But as far as like using it with computer applications and stuff, that could be fucking cool, man.
yeah. There was that event last year where it was like a developers conference.
Yeah.
And I think they finished the day with like a live demonstration of how someone in their daily life could use it. They strap it on their head and then they watch TV on their wall. And then like they go to their kitchen to cook something, they just track that screen somewhere else. The one thing that was kind of lame, and that's because like probably no one has really thought up of a great way to like do gaming on it yet, is like some weird shooter. I think that's the one thing that kind of makes me a little like hesitant about it. That like the only games that'll probably come out for the HoloLens right away, or like you said, Minecraft, or like weird shooter games, because that just makes sense. And for someone like me who's not really drawn to shooter games, that's kind of something that's going to be in the back of my mind when they actually start pimping this thing out, in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot more potential than just that. I think strategy games will work just fine with it. I think, like, something like XCOM would play flawlessly on something like that. That would be fucking awesome to play XCOM on that thing, to be honest. Especially if they can get it so the interface works the way they've got it with Minecraft, so you literally are just, like, swiping your hand and, like, moving it, and it goes where, yeah, like, that'd be cool. But, like, I've heard a lot of complaints about it as well, like in terms of like the comfort, like some of the like articles that I were reading were talking about like how like to calibrate this thing properly. They basically have to like screw it like into your head, and they were saying it was like really uncomfortable. And like one of them was saying that it was like uncomfortable how close it was like getting to their eyes and stuff. Like a few other things. Like they said that it wasn't necessarily the best presentation in terms of that aspect. Because it wasn't something that people could just like go and put on for themselves. Like they had like some guy there as like a representative who was like, no, you can't touch the device, we have to put it on you, and like would like try to get it calibrated correctly and all that stuff. So apparently it was just like really awkward and uncomfortable.
We virtual boys now.
Yeah, pretty much. But,
another thing I heard on a podcast was that the lens that covers your eyes, it doesn't fully cover your vision.
Right,
it's
right,
like
right.
a small, not a small, but like it's enough that there's still like it kind of breaks the immersion.
Yeah, because you don't see it in like a full perspective, right?
Right.
I think like somebody commented on that saying that it was like a safety thing, that they didn't want to like obstruct full vision because they wanted people to be aware of their surroundings and peripherals at least. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, people are gonna have to start upgrading if they want the next gen CPUs down the road.
Have any of you guys tried that any VR headsets?
No,
Like any of the big ones?
no, I still haven't even tried like an Oculus yet. I know Game Scouts has been like waiting on getting one of those for like a while, and it just hasn't come our way yet. But yeah, trust me, as soon as I get the opportunity to, we will definitely be talking about that.
Dude, a friend of mine has the Oculus, one of the dev kits, and I played this space game, Elite Dangerous, on it, and that was quite the experience, especially with the setup that he had, with like the 3D headphones, like the nice cockpit seat and joysticks. It was amazing.
It's pretty much the only way to make that game interesting. Is to like this is like the only way to make that Euro Truck Space Simulator interesting. So like actually put all that. I think with all that stuff on you, it would actually be amazing.
Yeah, it was one of those.
I thought you really liked Elite Dangerous.
I did, but after 20 or so hours, it just gets old. But I think with Jose saying, with all that stuff though, that's probably gonna make it much more amazing.
Yeah, it was the same level of awe that I felt when I saw smoke effects in Call of Duty 2 on my brand new Xbox 360.
My brand.
It was like, what the shit? Like, it blew me away. And that same experience I felt playing Elite Dangerous on a VR headset with all like the accoutrement. So, yeah. Cool. Hopefully, all my experiences with VR will be equally awesome.
You didn't have any like motion sickness or anything playing Elite Dangerous?
No,
I've heard a lot of people say like they like the first time they use it, they get like really bad motion sickness.
Yeah, when I see 3D movies, like in movie theaters, I get pretty bad motion sickness. I don't know if it's because I have to wear the glasses over my glasses, but I didn't experience any of that using the Oculus. Or maybe my like enjoyment like trumped my fucking like body.
Goddamn,
but who knows?
Just couldn't notice you were in a tremendous amount of pain.
Yeah.
Be taken away.
But moving on, Rogue Ant Simulator devs apparently they decided to blow all of their budget on liquor and strippers. So
It wasn't like the devs. It was like guys the devs partnered with.
yeah. It was
Right.
people that were basically managing the company for him. They
Yeah.
were partners of the company, but they were partners in like only the legal
Prime.
sense. So they had like access to the accounts, but they didn't actually like have access to any of like the assets for the game or anything like that. Like there was like a separate developer. But anyways, this guy Eric Tarashinsky, who is the lead programmer on this project, basically put out a YouTube video that honestly is pretty hard to listen to, because it gets well, it's just an awkward situation, and this guy seems sincerely apologetic about the whole thing and like legitimately doesn't know what to do, and claims that he has no responsibility for it. That it was these two other guys, and now it's basically like turning into a he said she said amalgam of bullshit, and now there are lawsuits and countersuits being filed and all this other stuff. Anyways, it screws a lot of people out of a lot of money. Basically, anybody that backed the game, anybody that decided to pre-order this game that was in development, now may not get their pre-orders back. They're currently working on some sort of way to compensate people to get their money back, but there's no announcement as to what that compensation will be, how that's going to happen. They can't give the money back if there's no money to give back. So somebody's going to end up having to pay for this. Otherwise, a lot of people are getting screwed. And I think it's going to do a lot of damage to that whole Kickstarter community and all that other stuff. If there haven't been enough horror stories about it already. I mean, I know so many people that used to really believe in the idea are totally just
Yeah, I think at this
don't want
point
anything to do with it anymore.
It's just more shit in the shit sandwich. It doesn't really matter. It's just funny at this point.
It is
Like, how do you not
Yeah,
find the
but
story
especially
funny?
because the most high profile one of these are the ones that involve gaming.
yeah,
You know,
that's true.
It
That's
just,
true.
there's other people that offer other
That's not
weird
necessary.
products.
I've heard like movies like indie filmmakers and stuff not be able to meet. I've heard a couple instances of indie movies not getting, or people getting screwed out of like the funding for those.
I think it's because the gaming ones tend to need much more money than like the movies or the writing. Or the
I think
comics,
it's because the
something like that.
gaming community latches on to absolutely every awful thing that possibly happens.
That's-
It starts trumpeting
Mhm.
and pioneering it all the
Oh.
way to the bitter end. You know.
It's like
So
they're
I
all
think-
sadists or something.
Yeah, I think these get pushed into the spotlight a lot more often than any other situation. But I mean, in this kind of a circumstance, this is pretty serious shit. Like, it's one thing to not be able to develop the game and be able to give people their money back. It's another thing to have somebody claim, "Hey, two people were really irresponsible with the money that we were given, and now we may not be able to give it back to you," type of thing. So I don't know. I mean, it's a shitty situation, and we'll definitely be following it as it circles around into its inevitable toilet conclusion, because that's
Which
really
will be
what it is.
hilarious.
And then while we're on the subject of Kickstarters, Mighty Number 9 was delayed again. Motherfucking game is never coming out. That's really all I have to say about that. As far as I'm concerned, it's up there with Star Citizen in a I'll believe it when I see it aspect.
Citizen's never actually been delayed. It's just people are so focused on the development that it's going to be delayed. It's supposed to come out this year. It's not going to come
Yeah,
out.
there's no fucking way.
But it's not actually. It's just people are being impatient, as they should be.
Isn't there another Kickstarter for like a Castlevania game? Recently, it was like I guess the lead behind it.
Yeah, it's not like
you got-
it's like the spiritual successor to
Yeah.
Castlevania, the old Castlevania games.
Right.
Yeah. I can't
Anyone heard
remember what
anything?
I can't remember what the name of it is off the top of my
Oh.
head. No, I haven't heard anything about it.
Which I remember had a sweet video on a Kickstarter page. It shows him as like a bat sprite flying into like the scene and then transforming into the dude, whatever the hell his name is.
Whatever, dude. The only Kickstarter game on my radar anymore is the Friday the 13th game.
They actually posted
My
some
God.
stuff recently, like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, dude, I backed the shit out of that game.
I know. I've actually been paying attention to it since I know
I'm
you.
like
back.
really excited about that game. It's stupid. But yeah, that's pretty much everything on. Oh wait. All right, so
Waiting.
the Eve Online developers decided to engage in a side project that got released. I don't know, maybe 4 years ago at this point. And they call it Dust 514. It was a first-person shooter.
Wasn't that like 2009? Wasn't that a while ago?
No. This was it got. I beta tested it.
I feel like it was a while.
No, it was like maybe at most 5 years ago. I think I beta tested it about 5 years ago, and I think it came out like later that year. So yeah, approximately 4 years maybe since it was released on PS3. Good game. I don't think that a lot of people understood what it was supposed to be, and as a result, I don't think a lot of people played it. Or at least not nearly as many people that should have, because it really was quite an amazing thing. But anyways, like the idea behind it was it's a first-person shooter that people could play, where you're basically, how do I phrase it? You're basically like the footmen, the soldiers of these wars that are happening, and the things that you do on the battlefield affect the community in EVE Online. And there's a lot of things that can affect, from economy to like power, and like all these other things. And it's really amazing if you can stop and consider that EVE already is an amazing feat because it's all played on one server. Literally everybody's on one server, and then they add this whole separate aspect to it where it affects everything that's going on in that one server. So on paper, I think it was a really good idea. I don't know that its execution was the best idea, and I don't think that picking PS3 was the best place for it to go. Unfortunately, as a result, CCP has basically come out and said we're getting ready to shut down Dust 514. But in the wake, the aftermath of this, they've decided that they're going to continue the project in a new aspect and basically bring it to the PC. It's going to be a very similar type of thing. They're calling it something different, but it's going to run on Unreal 4. And I think that's fucking cool. That's what they should have done in the first place. But now that it's going to run on Unreal 4, I'm hoping it's going to look absolutely fantastic. I think they're going to use a lot of what happened with Dust 514 as like a learning curve, and kind of like adjust accordingly. I hope that they make the game a little less complicated.
I think just the fact that it's going on PC instead of like a console is actually going to help.
It's going to help them out immensely, because I guarantee there's going to be a lot of people that are just going to like AFK on one monitor and EVE Online and get on a separate account and start playing.
Watch your spreadsheets as you play the game.
Yeah, dude, start really influencing your own battles. You know, you got to get in there and do the dirty work yourself, right? So I don't know. I think it'll be really interesting. It's definitely EVE is like something that's always fascinated me as a concept, but it's not a game that I can get into. I tried EVE Online back like when I was trying to figure out something that was going to pull me off World of Warcraft, and that game did not succeed in doing so. I found it really boring, but I remained really fascinated by the idea behind it. So I'm hoping that this execution of this idea will be a lot better than what they did on PS3, and it'll be something that really compels me to stay in the EVE universe, aside from just reading about events and stuff. It's really bizarre. Like, I spend a lot of time reading EVE blogs. I don't play the game like at all, but I know absolutely who everybody is, like all the key players. Like, know how the economics are working. When somebody gets pissed off about something, I tend to know about it within like the week at least. It's just one of those...
reading EVE fanfiction.
I guess I'm not that into it, but I do love just on a whim Googling like EVE news, because there's always some cool article about how some dude like snaked his way into a corporation.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome.
Millions of fucking...
It's really fucking cool, dude. Like, some of the shit
I like
that happens in that game is awesome.
I like the occasional like 30,000 player battle on EVE Online, millions of dollars in ships lost, and you know there's like 30-minute videos where no one actually knows what's happening unless they play the game.
Oh, you know what was the best?
Explosion of shitty graphics.
Yeah,
like
and lag, so much lag.
Yeah. Right. Years ago, Something Awful, they started like, I guess, like a corporation or a clan or something, and they became like a huge threat. And because, you know, they're just creative assholes out there on the forums, they would make like propaganda films they would make like all this
Oh, I
other
remember
cool stuff that
those.
you'd associate with war, actual war.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
really fucking awesome.
yeah.
God,
As
I
though we
remember you
didn't have
sent me
enough
those
of it in
videos.
real
They're
life,
just
right?
very weird.
Like there's something awesome about them, right? Like they're really compelling. It's like, why the fuck would somebody spend this much time on something that doesn't actually exist?
well, a buddy of mine, I don't know, yeah, like a buddy of mine, he plays like the stock market essentially in the game.
Yeah, yeah, a
Like
lot of people do.
that's like the enjoyment he gets out of it. And I don't think I've heard anyone play the game
A friend,
a different way. Like I don't know if it can be played. I've never actually tried the game.
I had a friend who I used to raid with in World of Warcraft that would literally in the middle of a raid, like in between like pulls and stuff, um, would just like go type into guild chat AFK, give me 5 minutes, and would like just alt tab and look over at what was going on EVE Online, and then just come back and be like, yeah, I just made 5 million credits or something like that, like just act like it was no big deal, and then we'd go right back into it. But yeah, he like might that's all he did. He just like fucking play. He was a day trader in EVE while he played World of Warcraft. So really,
Where he was gold farming.
He liked to joke that his fucking orc was actually a fucking like day trader in EVE Online. That he just had like a portal into another universe. I don't know, dude. That game's just it's a lot of fun in I don't know. It just seems like a really interesting concept. Yeah, exactly. And spreadsheets
Fuck 'em.
for
Fuck 'em.
stats whores like me, like that really just like looking at numbers for
Yeah.
some stupid fucking reason.
They gave away the license for like the White Wolf universe when they canceled that vampire MMO, and then I think they gave it to Pandemic.
Yeah.
Got it from White Wolf. Yeah. No, yeah, so fuck them. Who cares? That game, that world.
No mind's eye theater for us boys.
None at all. All right,
Better
Tim, what else you got on your list, man?
Well, we're gonna rant about Hearthstone, but just a few things before we do. Battlefleet Gothic doesn't actually have a release date, but it has a release date month, which is March, and it's taking pre-orders. It looks really cool. It's a 2D RTS space game, which confused some people because they were like, "Why not 3D?" But they're really basing it on the board game or the upcoming board game. I don't know if it's actually out or not. They're turning Battlefleet Gothic into a board game on tabletop, so I think this is the kind of what the model for the game is adapting. But it looks really cool. Like it looks fucking awesome. There's going to be customization, different fractions of chaos. You can have Nurgle, you can have Slazinch. It looks really cool. But yeah, the pre-order you can pre-order it for beta access, which happens a few weeks beforehand. And they're doing not day one DLC, but like 2-month DLC, if that makes any sense. If you pre-order it, you get the Space Marine faction, which they're really big in 40K, but in Battlefleet they don't really ride around in huge cruisers. They're more of a side thing to the Imperium. So basically, if you pre-order it or buy the game within 2 months of release, you get DLC for free, the first content.
Oh, you mean 2D as in on a plane?
Yeah, like on a board. Yeah, I should probably 40K, but in Battlefleet they don't really
Yeah,
ride
what
around.
the hell?
The way the game
trailer
plays
am I
is like
watching?
2D. Yeah, it's 3D. That was my bad. But it's kind of like it's a nice compromise. Like, yeah, it's kind of day one DLC, but like you can get it a month or so or a month or two after it comes out, so you can wait for the reviews to come in to see if it's something you really want to get. And it's a $40 game. It's not a $60 game, so it's got that going for it, boys. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about that because Warhammer. Killer Instinct Season 3 is starting to reveal some of its characters. One of which looks like not necessarily the Arbiter, but a Halo alien.
Yeah.
The Sangalihi. So that's kind of interesting. That'll get me to play that game again, just to hopefully
Just
be
to see
Arbiter.
what it's all about.
Yeah, I want to be
Just want
Arbiter.
somebody
That's,
to scream at you, combat!
that's like kill them with a Halo energy sword. I would rub my nose.
Like they took the screaming in that game to a whole motherfucking level.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was one of our first casts was just talking about how
Yeah.
awesome the combo screaming is. Definitely. But yeah, that'll be cool. No release date for that yet, but in March is when Season 3 starts, so I imagine it'll follow soon after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Pilot 3444 3444 Pilot guy. Hello. How are you?
You
That's fun. Last thing, Rainbow Six Siege got its Black Ice update, which I'm sure me and Palmer will get around to actually messing around with in the next week or two. So
Yeah,
next
at
time
some
we have a
point.
cast. But yeah, that came out. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Can you be nice? Probably not. But we will try, Mr. Pilot 3444. That name's just delicious. Let's go into Hearthstone. Probably should have told Palmer beforehand, but we're absolutely going to be doing a cast on Hearthstone when this patch gets closer to
Yeah.
launch. Some of the cards build
Once
and
they
stuff.
start talking
So we're
about
just
some of the cards,
we're just going to do a quick overview thing. You actually want to lead in with this, Palmer?
With the Hearthstone nonsense? Yeah, sure. I'm fucking
formats and
stoked.
whatnot.
I am fucking stoked. This is exactly what Hearthstone needs.
before, do you want to ask
my
if
God.
Pilot has any questions about anything we talked about?
Well, I don't know how
I
long have
assume
you
he's
been
not.
here, Pilot? I
Yeah,
don't know how long
he-
you've been here. You probably just
Been here
jumped in.
5 minutes.
Yeah,
so I
feel
don't-
free to chime in, Pilot. If you have anything that you want us to talk about while we rant about Hearthstone, you let us know. Let us know, buddy. Okay?
We can just stop in our tracks addressing
I need something to do while you guys talk about Hearthstone.
Flirt with Pilot. What's the problem?
But yeah, I am just
Ifs and
absolutely
nips, Jose.
fucking psyched. I've been asking for this to happen. Well, not asking really, but like talking about this on like other forums and stuff like Curse Gaming and shit like that. Like for quite some time, I've been saying that this needs to be the model that gets addressed. And there seems to be a lot of butthurt in the Reddits about this.
Yeah, Reddit, Hearthstone, all the major sites are. It was a sea of rage I was swimming in yesterday. No, it was bliss. It's fantastic. I love nerd tears. But a lot of the complaining seems to be for wrong reasons.
I really have to.
Some of it's
agree.
validated, some of it's definitely not. Like it has no stance whatsoever.
Yeah, so basically what a lot of people are complaining about is they are getting rid of the format that they have now for ranked play. And they're introducing two new formats. One's called Wild and one's called Standard. Wild is going to be basically like if you've ever played Magic the Gathering, it's like the legacy format of Magic the Gathering. It includes every single card that's ever come out. I don't think Blizzard's going to give a fuck about addressing any issues with the way cards work together or anything like that.
No.
It just means that you can play whatever the hell you want to, and then Standard is only going to contain the last 2 years worth of content. So a lot of people are butthurt about the fact that we're going to lose two entire expansions, Naxxramas and
Right now, like over a third of the card pool, a good amount. It's Nax and GVG. Guardians versus.
Yeah. Either way, it's over 200 cards. And Naxxramas specific. Well, no, actually, both of them have a lot of fucking cards that see a lot.
Yeah,
of
both of
fucking
them
play.
are equally good with cards and the amount you see them in net decks and shit. Like they both have really, really good cards.
Yeah, like so we're gonna be losing a lot of really, really interesting staples. A lot of fucking staples. Goblin Shredder gone. Dr. Boom gone.
Both zombies, Chow.
Yeah. There's a lot of people. So basically, it gives people, it forces people to adapt to the newest content that's come out, and I think it's a great idea. I think it's one of the things that keep card games successful. If you consider what Magic the Gathering does, if you consider what Pokemon does, the only other format that doesn't do it is Yu-Gi-Oh. And I think they like ban cards or something. I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
how
they do.
Yu-Gi-Oh
I didn't know
goes.
that before all this happened, before the Hearthstone announcement, but now I know in Yu-Gi-Oh they ban cards because Hearthstone.
So yeah, apparently Yu-Gi-Oh just like bans cards outright, rather than doing like a standard format. So it's still a standard format in some way, shape, or form. Regardless, it needs to happen in trading card games. Anything that's going to be like going to have any sort of longevity to it needs to have this kind of format change. Otherwise, you're going to be saying the same things every fucking time, every time, like we are in these decks. I think it's great. This move single-handedly destroys Secret Paladins. Every single fucking card, minus Mysterious Challenger. Like they're losing. What is it? What's the card that gives them +2/+1? It's a secret.
Avenge.
Yeah, they're losing Avenge. Losing.
Shielded Minibot even.
Yeah, Shielded Minibots, another one that's gone. Most Secret Paladins run Goblet Shredder.
Cog hammer.
Cog hammer. Like, there's a bunch of shit that's getting taken out. That's just going to drastically change the way things. And like, this is good though, because like it gives an opportunity for cards that weren't as played to start seeing play, because people are going to have to start relying on them.
Bloodhoof coming back, boys.
But then, in addition, I like this pilot guy, dude. Give us a follow, pilot. Please come back. Anybody that harasses Jose is okay with me in my book. God damn it, what the fuck was I talking about before?
The paladin, secret paladin.
Oh, right. Anyway, so it forces like cards that haven't been played to start seeing play, and it allows Blizzard to create new cards without having to worry about previous interactions and trying to like basically like constantly trump the previous set. I'm ecstatic about it. I couldn't be. The one thing that seems questionable is the fact that they're going to require the previous sets to be purchased with dust.
Yeah, I think that's not the only group.
Yeah, if you want those cards, you can't buy the packs anymore. Honestly, though, like at that point, if you're really looking to play Wild, there's probably only a handful of cards out of those sets that you'd really want anyways. So I don't know how practical it would be to continue buying.
Yeah, but if it going on like this, eventually old expansions will get thrown into Wild, and they'll see more play in Wild and more synergy with old cards. It's suddenly like it'd be like Hearthstone now. Like if they released a new expansion right now without all this format stuff, they'd release new cards that would suddenly have synergy with cards that didn't seem so good. But with this card, it's amazing.
True. That's true.
I think Blizzard will absolutely change their policy and allow you to purchase old adventures and GVG cards. Just because if they don't, in a huge way, it kind of kills Wild before it even gets off the ground, which kind of has a short shelf life to begin with. So I think it's very dumb.
Why is this guy capitalizing the first letter of every word?
I like him.
I do too.
But yeah, I think that's something they have to have. They're the only counter argument for them not selling stuff is like the only thing I've heard is, well, it'll confuse the new players coming into the game, and that's pretty dumb. It's a dumb card game. Just put a little banner up saying Wild only, or even do Wild only packs. A lot of people are suggesting that, where you just get a card pack that pulls from all the entirety of the Wild collection.
Oh my god, yeah. How much of a nightmare would that be though? If you were just trying to buy, you could buy like 100 fucking card packs and still not get the cards that you want.
Oh, absolutely.
That was already a problem in just buying expansion packs to try to get things.
That's the way it is now. Like, it's
yeah,
just,
but
they
it
have
would
to have some
that would
sort
make
of,
it so much worse.
it'd be better than nothing. Like, they have to do something other than dust. Like, dust is just, it's too stupid. It makes no sense.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I think
it's just it hurts Wild. It kills Wild before it gets off the ground because only grizzled veterans like us will actually play Wild. And honestly, grizzled veterans are more interested in playing Standard than Wild. So, like,
honestly, I think most people are going to be more interested in playing Standard than Wild, just because that's going to be.
So why put the nail in the coffin right from the get-go? Is what I'm saying. Because even after a couple years, Wild's just going to get dumb anyway. It's just gonna it's going to be stupid net decks.
Well, yeah, I think that's what's going to end up happening regardless. Though, is like eventually there's going to be some sort of card synergy that's utterly and completely broken, and Blizzard is not going to give a fuck. And that's literally the only deck that's going to be played in Wild.
But I think there's still like a year or so. Like Wild has some sort of shelf life to it. Like the next year will probably be all right, maybe. But then once you get a couple more expansions in, it's just going to become nonsensical and it won't make sense, and Blizzard will stop supporting it. It'll be awful. But to keep it alive for at least a year or so.
Tell him no, Jose. Break his heart.
Nah, he's my bro. You're my bro, pilot.
Jesus.
But they're going to have pretty much what they have now in both Standard and Wild. There's going to be a ranked and unranked in both Standard and Wild. You'll be able to use Tavern Brawl cards, or I'm sorry, you'll be able to use every card you have on Tavern Brawl.
Right.
And then I think Arena's still pulling from the entire card pool, so yeah.
Which just means, like, it's really going to be luck of the draw with Arena, because if you get some stupid fucking synergy now in Arena, it's just going to be, like, game-breaking.
It'll be like if you get a Dr. Boom, you just win. That'll be great. Dr. Boom, like, you're a Paladin, you get Dr. Boom, Mysterious Challenger, you get, oh man. Hilarity.
That's the dream, making a secret deck in Arena.
Yeah. But a lot of people are complaining, like, I'm quitting Hearthstone, I'm leaving Hearthstone, this is dumb, and it's just like they had to do something. I don't really. I'm pretty neutral on this. I could kind of go either way. As long as they give the ability to get older cards, then I'm completely cool with the direction they're taking it in. If they don't, it's just killing Wild and fucking the game from that perspective, and fucking veterans and people that actually put in time and effort to collect cards and shit. But I think they'll do something. Too many people are fucking complaining about it. It's literally every like 15 minutes on either Hearthstone or the Hearthstone subreddit, someone starts new shit posts complaining about it. So I feel like Blizzard will have to do something.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We will see. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited about the fact that there's going to be a new expansion coming out with all these changes. I'm liking the idea that they're going to kind of make this more seasonal based, so hopefully be releasing more expansions per year.
I wouldn't want a whole lot. I'm good with like a big expansion and like 2 or 3 adventures. I think any more than that, it's just really like the thing that I find hilarious about this whole thing is they're kind of doing this for new players to make it easier for them, to make it not so you have to like go and collect all these cards from all these sets. But this kind of format really doesn't work for free-to-play players because they got to save up that gold for the adventures. Then a new expansion comes out, then there's another adventure. And then a year rolls by, and another huge part of
I think
just goes to the wild, which is gonna just turn to shit eventually. So
I think Blizzard just needs to drop the free to play, but like the way the game is inherent. Well, like the way the game is inherently, like it's free to play. It is very fucking free to play. It's not free to win. Maybe that's.
It really bothers me that I like a game this much that's pay to win, but Hearthstone is absolutely a pay to win. You drop money in this game, you have a significant advantage over those who don't. But, it's you can grind it out too.
I think it's entirely possible to do it. Just grinding things out. It is. It takes a lot of time though. It takes a lot of time, and you have to be good.
I don't think if they do release more stuff, I think it'll be impossible for a free-to-play player to grind out all the adventures, get all the cards they need, shit like that. It'll actually be impossible unless you sit down and play Hearthstone and collect do 30 wins a day, collect 100 gold in addition to day, shit like that.
I think if you're ludicrously good, like some of the tournament players and stuff, like if you look at like Crip, he doesn't really go like less than fucking 10 in any arena. And that gives him a significant fucking advantage because of the amount of gold and dust you get from winning that many games in arena. Like if you're good at the game, yes, it is possible to make it free to play. If you're not good at the game, it is a challenge. It is very much a challenge.
And even if you're good at the game, the only way you're really going to do it is by playing arena. So if you like the idea of playing constructed and shit, it's like no, that's maybe for a couple dailies that don't line up for who you pick for arena, but arena is pretty much exclusively what you'll be playing to unlock shit.
Yeah, but that I don't know. Honestly, it gives you, if you play arena for a straight month, then all of a sudden you're gonna have a good amount of the cards, like at least the ones that matter. If you play fucking Hearthstone once a day and win at least 10 matches in arena every single day, it's absolutely possible for you to continue on.
But that's 3-4 hours a day. The way the meta is right now.
Of
time.
Yeah, no,
it's like a
not
part-time
really.
job.
With arena games, they're still pretty fast paced.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess because you can't. Well, it's still a significant chunk of time every day.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, if that's the way that you wanted to play it and you have that skill, then yes, it is still a free to play game. But yes, what I'm compromising with you, Tim. I'm saying I agree with you to an extent.
Yeah, but no, I'm with you on that too. But the 99.9% of people aren't going to be doing that. Let's just.
Yeah, no. I'm not disputing that at all.
Like you said, it's like the top echelon.
I think,
but it's not
really
possible. Like even winning like 5, 6, 7 in an arena run, still you come up on top and you can have enough gold to usually go again and shit like that.
Yeah. And honestly, in a free-to-play situation, I think you're more likely to find what you need and what you want out of crafting or out of like trying to purchase.
It's just it's the RNG and the RNG game, man. You just hope you pull those epics and rares you need.
Yeah.
You're never gonna get a good legendary. That's almost never gonna happen. But you hope good epics and rares.
One thing that I am I really hope that in redesigning the core cards, the base cards that are always going to be allowed to be played, in redesigning those, they decide to look at the shaman class and drastically change it.
You've been wanting that to happen for 2
I
years.
really want them to remove the overload mechanic and go with something else because
Really?
it is crippling. It is either that or make it so it can't be a tempo driven game and give overload cards that literally do have the power to change things. Because
That's just never happened.
right now the ones that like what is it? Elemental Destruction has the potential to be something really fucking awesome if it didn't wipe the whole goddamn board. But it's still.
But it's elemental destruction, Palmer. It just destroys everything.
It destroys. It does 4 to 5 damage to all creatures on the board. Yes, that is a huge amount of damage. But
is it like 4 overloads too?
It's 5 overload.
5 overload.
Which means that it literally can't see play right now because that would destroy your tempo for the next turn. You'd pay a shitload of mana to clear the board and then not be able. You'd be crippled the next turn. So they need to figure out a way to. I don't mind them keeping the overload mechanic if they truly give you cards that are worth being crippled. Something that will allow you to continue to maintain tempo. Like, I understand wiping the whole board is a huge tempo gain for you, but if you're losing complete and total tempo control the following turn, like, it doesn't do anything for you.
But then you can play something like you can play the totem, the 3/4 that has overload for 2 mana. Like it has some cards, but yeah, I'm with you.
In the late game, that's just immediately destroyed. Like the Feral Spirits immediately destroyed in the late game. Like,
Feral Spirits, yeah.
And the fact that the only reliable form of board control doesn't do a solid amount of damage. It relies on RNG, gives you 2 overload, and is a rare card. Needs to get really looked at.
But again, you can pop a totem that gives you spell damage, and suddenly, it could be 3/4, and that's good.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Shaman does have small compromises like that, but yeah, they aren't exactly powerful enough to meet. I don't necessarily think they're gonna. From what I read, they're planning on changing between 2 and 22 basic and classic cards, and I think I heard mention of Force of Nature, Savage War combo. Specifically being one of the things they're doing.
A lot of people want that.
So I don't see them really changing the classes at this point, but maybe with the new expansion you'll actually get some decent overload cards. I think that's your best hope, really.
Either that or they need to introduce some way to be able to allow players to use overload as an advantage. That's not like.
They have the 1/3 that got released in League of Explorers.
Yeah, and what did that do?
They have that.
It forced shaman decks to go into a niche that the most successful shaman decks are always face shamans now.
Yeah, it's very aggro.
It forced the shaman decks to go into a niche, so they have to figure out a way to allow mid range, because back in the day, dude, mid range shaman is what shined. You had the fire elementals. You had a whole bunch of other things that allowed mid range shaman players to be really successul.
Around launch and Nax, mid range in general was kind of whatever.
Mid range and death rattle was
death rattle. Oh god,
hugely
that Undertaker though.
Yeah, well, if you couple it with the core cards that shaman has, like Resurrection and fucking the hell's the other one? Reincarnation. Yeah. That immediately gave you access to death rattle triggers, and then you just had a Kel'Thuzad that couldn't die.
Pop those Nerubian eggs, no problem.
Yeah, dude, it was no biggie whatsoever. And those were the fucking fun times to play Shaman, man. That was where Shaman was at.
I think I had the most fun Hearthstone around Nax, when that came out, and you could fuck around with different stuff. Yeah. Just before there were a million different cards to get.
Yeah,
but with the new standard mode, Palmer, that won't be a problem.
Nope.
Although it'll still be a million cards to get, and then they won't work. It could still be phased out. But, I think we're both in agreement that something had to happen. Hearthstone is just a shit show right now.
Yeah.
I fucking rock Hearthstone with the stupidest Dragon Priest deck in the world, and it has a 70% win rate. Something had to change.
I think it just took... Blizzard was, in new territory with this whole, how are we going to proceed with a digital card game versus a normal card game? And I think them going back to the roots and looking at the way normal trading card games operate is a serious step in the right direction, just in terms of keeping the game fresh. The other huge thing that came out of the news that a lot of people had been complaining about prior was the deck slots only being at 9. Now they're being at 18.
How did we not open with that, Palmer?
I
That
don't
should have been
know.
our open
Dude, deck
statement.
slots.
Deck
More
slots.
deck slots. Just more
More
slots for your
dots.
decks.
More dots.
More slots for your decks. Just put your decks in all the slots. That's 18 slots now to put your decks in. 18 decks, 18 slots. Decks and slots everywhere.
And I'm still only gonna have like a priest, a hunter, and a fucking
That hunter deck you played me with you.
a dragon hunter. I'm calling it. That's gonna be the first big meta on standard, Palmer.
Yeah, well, no, think about it. Like with Blackrock Mountain being what's like the primary thing now, like there's going to be a lot more dragon play all of a sudden.
And then all of a sudden, there's gonna be no one playing dragons ever again.
Especially since mechs are like totally gone
Yeah.
now.
I'm telling you, Nozdormu, he's gonna make a big comeback, Palmer. And then it's not
He
gonna
might.
work because people are actually gonna expect him.
Yeah,
to suck.
exactly.
I'm gonna be so mad.
It's going to go right back to being awful again, Tim. And then
that.
where will your deck be? You're just going to have to find more
Win rate
slots
goes
to
down to
put
like
that deck in.
25%. Yeah. To build 3 different variations and 18 slots, it'd be great.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
But yeah, me and Palmer, once the cards start getting announced and once it gets closer to a release date, we'll do a big cast on it on its
absolutely.
own. Easily ramble on for an hour and a half. It'll be fun.
Yeah. But I think that wraps things up. It's a nice little bow on things. Tim, you got any other things you want to discuss?
No? Yeah.
Jose, you got any things you want to discuss?
Anything on your mind, Jose, that you need out in the world?
Anything? You checking your emails over there? Just watching your pornography?
Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
No, I just watched some clips of the Democratic Town Hall event that was just on.
All right,
Every
we're
clip
not
I've
going to
seen.
talk
Let's,
politics on this cast. That is just not a direction that this cast is going to go in. So
I won't allow it. Just won't have it. We are video games, goddammit.
You know, just get involved. On either side, whatever.
All right, hippie, settle down.
you can tell he has really strong views.
He thinks his vote matters. It's
He's
cute.
actually a Trump supporter.
Yeah, that's right. rips off his sweatshirt, just a big picture of Donald Trump.
How fucking amazing would that be, right now?
I would, yeah.
If he had it just zipped up for a reason.
I would have a
this
stroke and
entire
I would be
time.
okay with it. My brain would just explode.
My brand.
Interestingly, though, I was cleaning out some boxes the other day, and I found like paperwork from like a decade ago, and on it was an invitation to one of those like Trump get rich quick clinics
Oh, yeah,
that like
yeah,
he used to
yeah.
host back in the day. It was pristine, you know, printed out invitation, you know, with generic
Next
whatever
time
on
he's in
it.
DC, you should go get him to sign it. Put the shit up on eBay.
Put that shit on eBay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I might like, who knows, someone, you know, there's a
Some sick fuck out there
benchmarker
will
for
pay
anyone.
that.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus.
But
Anyways,
anyway.
that's
yeah, we
going
got
to
that.
wrap up episode 34. We'll see y'all next week with some sort of something.
Maybe Rainbow Six, maybe Vermintide, actually. It's
Actually,
probably
yeah,
going to
probably
be
gonna
Vermintide.
be
Yeah, we're just
Vermintide.
Vermintide stream from now on, pretty much.
Vermintide until Sniper.
We Charlie Day now.
Vermin. No, wait, no. No Killing Floor until Sniper? No Vermintide? No, I don't know.
I think we're Vermintide till Sharpshooter is what Palmer's trying to say.
No, Sniper. Come at
Sharp.
me. Come at me!
It has been confirmed for the next perk. We should, point that out. That's something.
That is...
No Red Orchestra 2 fucking footage, like they fucking promised. At
Can we
the
talk
fucking...
about their live stream real
Fuck
quick and how much
Tripwire's
of a
live stream. Get your
disaster
shit
that
together.
was? Holy shit, Tripwire. What the fuck
With
happened?
3 people that are not in their
What
right
the
minds, and
fuck
we managed
happened?
to pull off a better job than they do. It just makes
Jesus.
no sense.
What? Wait, what happened?
They did,
During
a
the
live,
live stream.
Everything.
they did a live stream where they were supposed to show some fucking Red Orchestra footage. And
Never happened.
It didn't
just
happen.
didn't happen.
It just didn't. They tried.
Oh.
They tried to run it. They tried to run it, and all kept crashing and black screened.
And they were
So
just like, well,
they got
tune in
desperate and
next
started
week.
talking about Killing Floor shit that didn't matter because
I
no.
fucking flip my tables all over the place.
And
I
they started.
can't wait for Red Orchestra 2 and just fucking no, tune in next week. We don't have an actual date or time. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. And they
Let's
didn't.
talk about Killing Floor stuff that no one cares about.
They showed a bunch of Killing Floor modes that just don't fucking matter, dude. They're
Oh,
literally.
dude,
just
some of those
mods.
did look cool. Come on. You can
Yeah.
play as the Flesh Pound and you try to tag people. Like, oh man, that looked goofy as shit.
Yeah, but like pop the zit, that looked dumb. Like
Yeah.
it looked like it'd be fun for all of 5 seconds until it loses
yeah.
its charm, and
Yeah.
then you never
And
want
you
to
go back
play
to
it
playing the
again.
actual Killing Floor game.
Yeah, exactly. But they also like announced a new map for Killing Floor, other things, right?
Yeah, they confirmed the sharpshooter perk is next, and it'll be
Yeah.
within months or so. We do love Tripwire, but Jesus Christ, boys, get your stream together.
Yeah, man, what the fuck?
Pretty bad.
Anyways, on that note, we'll see you all later.
On that flaming note, we'll see you
Yeah,
guys.
take care, Tripwire. Get your
Tripwire.
shit together.
We're on
We
to
love-
you.
Peace.
Give word over.
Peace.